What a great pleasure it is to present the annual PSC Award tonight to Florence Howe. As a person, Florence is more than impressive. But when I saw her resume, 24 pages of single-spaced type, I was glad I had never seen it, or I would have really been afraid of her. Right off the bat, on the first page, there was this impressive list of awards and honors, including Phi Beta Kappa, and four honorary doctoral degrees, plus a fifth to be granted this year. She is also the author or editor of more than a dozen books and more than 90 published essays. Most recently, she edited an unprecedented history of the women's studies movement, The Politics of Women's Studies, Testimony from 30 Founding Mothers. Florence Howe is, as one of my colleagues said to me last week, the real thing. Author, editor, publisher, and teacher. She was born in New York City and educated at Hunter College High School, Hunter College, Smith College, and the University of Wisconsin. Since 1985, she has been professor of English at City University and is currently at the Graduate Center. Described by colleagues as the Elizabeth Cady Stanton of women's studies, a little exaggerated.
Oh, I would think so.
Florence Howe began teaching women's studies courses even before they had that name. Over a period of 3 decades, she became the record keeper of women's studies programs in the United States and abroad, as well as the historian of the movement. From 1972 to 1982, she was the editor of Women's Studies Quarterly, the first national journal to focus on feminist teaching. Since 1970, when she helped to found the Feminist Press, now in residence at the City University of New York, she has been its president. And what a president she has been. Since then, she has also been publisher and director. Florence Howe's tenure at the Feminist Press has seen a dramatic growth in both the books published and in outreach to readers, as well in editorial direction, which since 1980 has become international in scope. In its brochure, the Feminist Press describes itself as pioneering the rediscovery of American women writers. Quote, "In bringing this literature to life, we gave and continue to give new generations of women their first opportunities to look back on where they came from and to expand their vision of where they may be going." The Feminist Press was the first to publish the lost history of working-class white and African-American women writers of the 19th and 20th centuries, the first to publish a memoir series which documents the political, social, and personal history of women's consciousness, the first to publish curriculum materials in women's literature, history and law, Black women's studies and lesbian studies, the first to publish books by and about women for the high school classroom. I'm sorry Randy's not here to hear that. And the first to publish books for young readers in which women are role models. Florence Howe has made singular contributions to women inside and outside of CUNY. Through a finely honed aesthetic sensibility, impeccable judgment, precision of language, and acuity of mind, she has raised the level of social discourse, raised consciousness, and along the way, most certainly raised hell. Keeping faith with the best traditions of the Union and of the university, she has been an activist and a scholar of the first rank. It is, therefore, with unparalleled pride and enthusiasm that I present the PSC's 4th annual award to my colleague and friend, Professor Florence Howe. I shall read the inscription. PSC Award presented to Dr. Florence Howe for service, scholarship, leadership, and continued advocacy on behalf of the faculty, staff, and students of the City University of New York, Women's History Month Committee, Professional Staff Congress, CUNY, March 22, 2000.
Thank you all. On behalf of the Feminist Press, I want to thank you for this honor that belongs truly to all the people who make the work of the Feminist Press possible. I don't say this lightly or modestly. I do work very hard, but so do a dozen other people on the staff, and that many as well on the board of directors. Our donors and funders also help to make this work possible, and without our authors, researchers, and scholarly advisors, we could not publish the extraordinary books we do. So as Hillary has said, it takes a village to make real change possible, to accomplish lasting achievements. And so while I'm very proud of the honor and the award, I do wish it had said the Feminist Press instead of Florence Howe.
Next time. We'll do it.
Next time. Okay. Let me say something about the future of the Feminist Press, since we are on the eve of our 30th anniversary celebration. As you may know, we have a fundraising gala on April 3rd at the Essex House, for which we are almost sold out, I'm happy to say. We invited 36 of our authors, some from Africa, Latin America, Asia, and Europe, to help us host that occasion. And on April 5th, 14 of these authors will appear at a writers' conference hosted in collaboration with the Graduate Center's celebration of the 10th anniversary of the Women's Studies Certificate Program. This program is free and open to the public. The writers include Tilly Olson, Grace Paley, Louise Merriweather, Mina Alexander, Shirley Gayak-Lin Lim, and Marilyn French, all published by the Feminist Press. I know many people are curious about our Women Writing Africa project, and so I will say a few words about it before concluding. We are in the 6th year of this project that now has research committees in 25 African countries. These committees work regionally as well as in their own nations. Tuzaline Jita Allen, a CUNY professor originally from Sierra Leone, has organized the southern and eastern regions. Abina Busia, a Rutgers professor originally from Ghana, has organized the West Sahelian region and the northern one. My job is to appear once the researchers have been found, to talk about the process, and to work with Tuzaline and Abina and the regional coordinators to help organize the texts found into a publishable volume. We will have 5 big anthologies that are somewhat like the groundbreaking Women Writing in India volumes. You know, we have 2 of those. They took 10 years to do. Though the African ones will have major differences, since much of African literary production is oral. We are collecting not only songs and stories, but historical documents by and about women from missions, school, government, legal, and prison records. We are collecting early publishing by women in newspapers and magazines, as well as in books. We're collecting letters and other kinds of documents. We have in our southern volume, nearing completion for publication in 2002, for example, early pieces from mid-century by Bessie Head and Nadine Gordimer, as well as recent writing by young and still unknown authors. We also have work from mid-century by people who were lost, that is, they were famous in their day, and as with American writers, lost because they were women. Those of you who know Africa will not be surprised that the volumes will be multicultural and reflective of scores of Africa's more than 400 different languages. The point of the project is cultural reclamation. Just as women writers were lost for centuries in India and lost for a whole century here in the United States, they have been lost or ignored in Africa as well. And I should add that among the songs, there are initiation songs, marriage songs, there are work songs that are absolutely magnificent. When African women work, even today, they sing. Finally, I want to conclude by reminding all of you that there is a search on for a new publisher-director of the Feminist Press. The search has been reopened briefly to allow qualified candidates who missed the first opportunity to apply. Please spread the word, remembering that this new person will never have to do what I have done. The Feminist Press is now a living institution with a permanent home at the Graduate Center. It has a strong staff, some of whom have been with us for almost 5 years. It has a dedicated board of directors, and its finances are in moderately good shape. I plan to continue to be of use, to live on the premises, and to administer and edit, as well as write the grants and reports for Women Writing Africa, a continuing project funded by the Ford Foundation and the Rockefeller Foundation, and likely to go on for another 7 or 8 years. So the job of publisher-director will become a human-sized job for a person with imagination and vision about the future needs of publishing for a social change press. Again, many thanks for this honor. It is not easy following in the footsteps of Sandy Cooper, Lila Milani, and Eleanor Pam, all of whom are dedicated workers for CUNY as well as distinguished in their own right. The Feminist Press's contribution to CUNY is perhaps more indirect. We all trust that our light will continue to shine brightly for CUNY's honor as well as our own. Thank you.